Today we're going to be working on dividing decimals by integers, and so we're going to do a couple examples together here on the front. It says divide and estimate to see if your answer is reasonable. So this very first one, when I divide a decimal by an integer, I'm going to put the first number on the inside of the bracket just like I always do. Or sometimes I kind of call this like the little house. So put the first number inside the little house here, and then put the second number on the outside of the bracket, or on the outside of this little hut. And so then here I always, at the very beginning, take care of my decimal first. And so if a decimal's in the house, we raise it to the roof. And that's kind of the silly saying that I use. Really, if a decimal's inside the bracket, we just bring it straight up for our long division here. And then we can just divide like normal and use our long division skills. 7 goes into 36 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35. When I subtract, 6 minus 5 is 1, and I can bring down my 7. 7 goes into 17 twice. 2 times 7 is 14. When I subtract, I get 3 and bring down my 5. And 7 goes into 35 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35, and when I subtract, I get 0. And so 36 and 75 hundredths divided by 7 equals 5 and 25 hundredths. That is the answer that I got here. Now, if I want to estimate to make sure my answer makes sense, 36 is close to 35. 35 divided by 7 is 5, and so my answer seems reasonable and seems like it makes sense, so that I can move on to the next problem. The next one is 0 and 87 hundredths. Which I'm going to put inside my bracket, divided by 3, which goes on the outside. If a decimal's in the house, we raise it to the roof, so we're going to bring it straight up. And 3 can't go into 0, so I'm going to put a 0 placeholder in up here. 3 can go into 8. It goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. And then I can bring down my 7. 3 goes into 27 9 times. And 9 times 3 is 27. When I subtract, I get 0. And so 0 and 87 hundredths divided by 3 is equal to 0 and 29 hundredths. This one is a little bit tougher to estimate, but if we think about maybe like 9 tenths divided by 3, we would guess that it's close to 3 tenths. And so the answer seems reasonable and makes sense with the best of our estimating skills that we can use. So for the next video, we're going to open up. And what I'm going to challenge you to do is I'm going to challenge you to at least try these two on your own. You know your dividing negatives and positives rules, and now we talked through how to do long division with decimals, dividing decimals by integers. So I just want you to try these next two on your own and then watch the second video to make sure that your answer is correct, because we are combining two different skills that we've learned so far. We'll be combining our positive and negative rules as well as our long division rules on these two problems here.